Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, so last time we took back the Castle of Fynn. So now we have our new task. And our new task is that our friend Mindu was sent off quite a while ago to the town of Mysidia to locate the Ultima Scroll, which is, from what we've been told, a spell of great and terrible power. So it must be ours, right? Yeah, that's usually the way these things go. So yeah, we are on our way to the town of Mysidia. And I actually decided to take a unique scenic route, just because I actually wasn't aware that this existed, that you could actually access Mysidia without your boat. So we're going to be taking this route just because I want to show off that you can get there without the boat, and it doesn't take a whole heck of a lot of effort. All you have to do, really, is just follow... If you follow the way up to where the Dreadnought was, and go up to where the Colosseum was, and just take a U-turn at that mountain range, you can get to the area where Mysidia is located. Nothing huge, right? And it also might be a good idea because once we get to Mysidia, we're getting really close to endgame here. So there's going to be a lot of leveling that needs to take place and things like that. Thankfully, I don't do it on camera, guys. So before people start yelling, bah, 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 no, I did not do the grinding on camera. I was more interested in getting warlocks and things like that so that I could get spell scrolls and get rich. Because getting rich is easy and fun, I guess, in this game. And I apologize if I sound like I've got a little bit of a, a little bit of a cold, but unfortunately, again, guys, it's flu season. And I'm actually not even sick. It's just because something went down the wrong tube. You know, that happens. Yay! We're creating victories! Okay, so we are now back on track. And still with encounters. Yeah, I was actually hoping to hear back from people on whether or not to start cutting some of the encounters. I didn't, but here's what I'm probably going to do, guys, is from here on in, I might start cutting some of the encounters that are back to back, and that way we can get through dungeons a little bit quicker, because, I'll be honest, I kind of just want out of this game. This is not one of my favorite Final Fantasy titles. Sorry, guys. Okay, and we got another warlock, so we got another possibility at a spell. That always helps. Yay! Okay, now we're back moving... I can't talk. We're back moving north. And that's all you have to do, really, if you want to walk all the way up to Mysidia, is walk all the way north, take that U-turn, like I said, and then you can easily come across the area that it's based off of. In the meantime, also, when you're playing this game, follow the map. The map is your friend. I swear, you actually don't think you can go that far unless you have the map, and then you realize, oh, everything's kind of linked and connected. Now, another question that people might be having is, are we going to see another appearance of the Chocobo? I think I actually just bypassed the forest, because by the time you're there, there's actually not a whole lot of ground to cover. And like I said, I wanted to try and get time for spells to level up and things like that. And there's where the Dreadnought is, so we're about halfway there. Somewhat. Third. Let's go with third. In the meantime, though, one of the questions that I do get every now and then, and I do like talking about on these Let's Plays, and if you guys don't like it, please comment, is what I'm currently playing. And I've taken on a lot of new projects recently because I beat Assassin's Creed 3 and didn't like it as much. Sorry, guys. But I also started up God of War Ascension, and I know I didn't talk about it too much, but that was just because I wasn't that far in and a little confused. I kind of get now where the story is, and it's interesting, don't get me wrong, but it's... I don't know, I kind of miss the straightforwardness of the God of War titles. Oh, you're gonna go slay war. Okay, you become the God of War. Oh, now Zeus is your enemy. And then this one, I still don't really know who the true enemy is. Just because there's a lot of reference to the Furies, and apparently the guy that I met was in the beginning of the game was a Fury? I don't know. That part of Greek mythology I have no idea on. But I do get the concept where this is a prequel, because it's basically headlining that Kratos wants to be free of his bond with Ares at that time, because I'm guessing the pivotal moment in Kratos' life, and spoiler alert, guys, but the statute is long since run out, how Ares basically made Kratos murder his wife and daughter. So it's an interesting concept because it kind of shows that Kratos is going insane. And I'd get that. I mean, he'd go mad with grief. So much that he's carrying around, I'm guessing the remnants of his wife and daughter, a little ring and a little ribbon. And I just barely got to the Tower of Delphi, where I met with the Oracle, to see if there was a way for me to break my oath with Ares. Or Kratos' oath with Ares. Sorry, I go into a first-person kind of concept because, you know, you're the character. So, I'm liking it so far. It's had a lot of great epic moments for God of War. Especially in some of the puzzle solving. It's been... I especially like the puzzle that you have to figure out before you can enter the Tower of Delphi. It's just this... You know, you're carrying these 3 giant serpents to open up the way to the tower. And it's the weirdest thing ever. Oh, and by the way, if you guys haven't seen this before on ours, it's the map interface. I'm just checking to make sure I'm going the right way, and I'm pretty close to the Colosseum. And Palamysia, strangely enough. I could launch an attack right now. That would not be a good idea. Anyway, so... Yeah, you had this puzzle where you had to take these 3 giant serpent statues, and they opened the way to the Tower of Delphi. And that whole sequence was just epic. I mean, but it's God of War. I mean, I've had a lot of epic moments, specifically from 3. 3 had a lot of really great moments for the God of War franchise. At least for me. But I love that, and the boss fight to get to the Oracle was pretty freaking cool. So... I want to say that I'm, like, halfway through the game. I might not be. I might be a little below halfway. Which is fine. I'm enjoying it thus far. A question that I might get, and I'm just going to stuff this out right now. Will I be trying out the God of War multiplayer? Nope. I don't normally try the multiplayer, guys. Sorry. Multiplayer is not my thing. I judge games basically off their story and how they play overall in that campaign. This is why games like Call of Duty wouldn't really work for me, because I like having campaigns that last more than 3 hours. Hence why I don't buy Call of Duty. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm liking God of War Ascension, and the other game that I just barely started up was Batman Arkham City. So if people remember, probably a few parts ago, I was talking about Arkham Asylum, and the fact that I liked how it ended, and I thought it was a really great rendition of a Batman game. Arkham City is that... The rumors are true, or what I heard when it first came out, it's pretty much Arkham Asylum on steroids. I'm not so much into the whole, it gives you a whole city to wander around in. But the fact that I can be a superhero wandering around a city, and it works really well, is a great concept. The last time I even saw this done fairly well, and I'm going to say fairly because it had problems, was Spider-Man 2, when that came out for consoles. That was a really cool sandbox superhero title. The reason I call it fair is because a lot of its just random save the day kind of moments were all the same thing, and so there wasn't really a whole lot of variety to it. It was basically you're either stopping a bank robbery or saving somebody from being mugged. And there would have been a lot of moments that I think would have been awesome just to add in, have a little minor villain activity, like, if I'm going to stop a bank heist, maybe it's, I was going to say the Riddler, but it doesn't work really for Spider-Man, does it? Like Mysidia, he's trying to earn some capital so he can launch an evil scheme, and you prevent him from doing that. Or if you don't prevent him, he becomes like a little side mission. That would have been cool. And with Arkham City, I actually get the feeling that they'll do that. That's really cool. I've actually had a couple of moments where, like, I was doing the main storyline, and then all of a sudden, I get a call from Victor Zsasz, and he's got this whole thing. Now I've got to go race to save his next victim. And that's an interesting concept to me, because Arkham Asylum, I thought, could have showcased a lot more villains, and they decided to focus a little bit mostly on the Joker, Bane, and Poison Ivy to an extent, and Killer Croc. Now, but we did get little moments from here and there from Victor Zsasz in that title. This one actually allows for them to have these little side mission schemes, and it's really good. I especially like how you start the game off literally as Bruce Wayne. Saving a talk show host from Arkham City, which I guess is now just, since Arkham Asylum's gotten too big, it's just now a city. I like it. I especially like I was told that I wasn't going to like the Catwoman episodes, and I like them. They've got an interesting personality for Selina Kyle, and so her stuff is kind of fun. I just barely got done doing the Poison Ivy episode with her, and that was cute. How she's just sending off all of her, quote, slaves against me, and it's not doing anything for Catwoman. That night, I love a lot of the commentary from Alfred. Alfred wasn't entirely in Arkham Asylum. At least I don't think he was. It was mostly Barbara Gordon, aka Oracle, that Bruce was constantly talking to. In this one, it was Alfred, and I love the fact that, when you've got this new mission going on, he's usually the one with the, quote, smartass remark. It's pretty hilarious. I especially like when you have to go start looking for, because where I'm at in the mission currently, I'm looking for Mr. Freeze, and as soon as you said I need to locate Mr. Freeze, you need to find the coldest area in Arkham City. Sir, you do realize it's the middle of winter. Like, yeah, it kinda is. How are you gonna locate Mr. Freeze? Well, freezers. So yeah, I am really enjoying Arkham City, and I will get into that a little bit more later on. I've also been requested to do the DLC for that, and I'm always up for doing DLC as long as it's worth it, and I have heard that in the Arkham games, DLC is worth it. At least in Arkham City, because I think it's like a Harley Quinn deal. And that will be awesome. Alright, so in the meantime, we have actually reached the town of Mysidia. So, I know that took quite a while, but we're here. Eventually, we'll need to bring our ship back here. You won't have to be part of that. I'll just go grab it. And in the meantime, we want to kill this mine. Thank you. Let's get into the town of Mysidia and see what it has to offer. And normally in the Final Fantasy franchise, Mysidia is a town of mages, so get used to seeing robes and top hats. Or robes and witch hats. See, there you go. Now we're in Mysidia. And we're going to look around a little bit because there's weapon shops, item shops. Item shops, we know what are going to be in it. So, because it basically lets you buy every item in the game for obnoxious prices. You know, because people buy it. That makes a whole lot of sense, right? Okay, so first things first, we're going to check out the weapon shop. And I do remember saying in a previous part that this is where we do upgrade an item for Gus. And that is the Ogre Killer. We're going to be getting 2 of those because that basically brings him back up to brick wall status. He's just going to slam into everybody. And we're also going to get an ice bow for Maria. People might notice I also got 2 flame lances. There's a reason. It's not going to be apparent until later. And there we go. 71 to 101 right there. 137 attack for Gus. He is a powerhouse again. And next up, we're going to go to the armor shop. And we got an ice shield, but not really a benefit to me. Knight's armor, if people remember from the Dice Cavern, I did say that you would be able to purchase this later. There it is. You can get Thieves' Gloves and Titan Gloves. And if people remember the Titan's Gloves, they are basically, they increase not just defense, but attack. And this will be helpful later on. But we've actually hit an inventory cap. Yes, I've hit an item cap rage moment. Because I remember being just peeved when that came up. So I gotta take care of some stuff. And now, let's get some Titan's Gloves. Start equipping stuff. Flame Mail or Titan's Gloves, that's going to be the upgrade. And then we're going to upgrade the Golden Mail to Knight's Armor. And Titan's Gloves. Gus upgrades from Golden Mail as well as Layla does. Knight's Armor, he's already got the Titan's Gloves, so boom. Yay! We now have new stuff. We make holes in teeth. Start selling some of the excess stuff we don't need. Sell the Mithril Axe, sell the Golden Mail, and the Werebane. Yay, we have money. And there we go. So now we're out of the armor shop. And I think the next stop we're going to make... Oh yeah, and this is a sanctuary. I don't think I've shown these in this playthrough. But that's where you get your characters revived if they die. And you don't have life. But I do. And the magic shop. Wow, this is a huge place. And there's actually quite a bit of good spells here, including Holy. Yes, it's 20,000 gil. Well worth the purchase. Because now I can actually give that to Furion, and it's actually a attack magic for him. So in case I get bored, and Holy's fairly high, I can just start nuking people with Holy. But as you'll see later, that probably won't happen that much. Mainly because he'll be healing during a lot of the latter encounters. And I always believe that the white mage should have Holy. Yes, I could technically give it to Maria, and it probably would do a little bit more in her hands, but... Holy should be a white magic spell. That's my preference. And now we're going to go down this staircase, and this is actually where you put the white mask we just got. So we're going to put it down here. Oh, look at that statue right there. Okay, well... It is a statue of a goddess. And this is where we put the white mask. So first we gotta dig it out of my massive inventory. White mask, there we go. Nice sprite for that. The white mask was placed over the goddess's face. Now, people might be wondering, well, what purpose does that serve? Like we said in previous parts, there are 2 masks needed to unlock the way to the Tower of Mysidia. One is a white mask, one is a black mask, and it just so happens you need to put the white mask on that. Oh, Mindu went to the tower a while ago. You must hurry. So we now know Mindu is no longer here. He's been trying to get the Ultima spell. Do you have the black mask? It is kept on a small island in the middle of the ocean. Oh, that's right. Okay, you will unseal the tower? Then you must collect the 2 masks and go to the cave north of this continent. They're basically pointing you in the direction of where the black mask is. You should find the crystal rod there. And the crystal rod you do need. Dusty old tomes fill the bookshelves. This is an interesting concept because, as you'll see in a little bit, I will come back in here and you can ask it about things like the Ultima Scroll, and it's basically you pull down a book about it. It is true, the time for unsealing the tower is coming. So it's been prophesied. The ancient books kept in this town will give you answers. See, there you go. That's the hint to go to the library. The tower seal is protected by the 3 guardians. And this is what we'll have to deal with when we actually hit the Mysidian Tower. In the sublevel of Mysidia is a statue of a goddess. It is the guardian of the crystal rod. And that actually just so happens to be, when we put the white mask on there, we unlocked the way to get the black mask as well as the crystal rod. So let's go ahead and check these books. Yeah, this is not really a big library. Ultima Scroll. Pandemonium is a palace of demons when it appeared. The mages conjured a mighty spell and banished it. Okay. Pandemonium will play a little bit later. The mages then recorded the spell onto a scroll and sealed it deep within a tower. Okay, so that's the Ultima Scroll. Mask. Offer the white mask to the goddess underground. If your heart is good, the doppelganger will cease to move. Okay. She wasn't really moving. Place the black mask on the doppelganger and it will vanish along with your evilness. Along with your evilness. We are totally filled with evilness. That's gonna be the word. The word of the day is evilness. Okay, so now we have our next task, which is going to be going to get our ship so that we can go to the tropical island, I believe it's a tropical island, to go get the black mask. But as you guys can kind of tell, we do have a little bit of a trek. So we'll go ahead and take care of these guys at the very least. Oh, and these guys, oh, it's the return of the cockatrice. The one enemy in these games that I hate, because they are enemies that have access to petrify. And if they connect, your friend turns to stone, and I don't really have a spell that can take care of that. Oh, and look at the damage from Gus. Welcome back, Gus. We missed you. And we're leveling up spells, leveling up spells, leveling up spells. Boom. Okay, so the cockatrices weren't a problem now. They will be in grinding. So I'll be cursing if they turn the one person I want stat improvements on to stone. But I think that's going to be it for this week. So next time I will go back and get the ship, and then we will head our way over to the tropical island.